Welcome to the Super Six podcast. I'm your host, Kieran Stewart, and I'm joined by Steve Kane, Nathan Ellen, Kevin Parker, Farrell Kellen, and Garth Lewis. How is everyone doing?
Good evening.
Good
evening, everybody.
All right, I swear that is the best one. That's
Not
the best one
be
so far. There had to be a delay, didn't there, Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin, champion of the Premier League. Champion of the Premier League. Well done, Kevin.
FA Cup winners as well. Don't forget that, Kieran.
FA Cup winners. We can't forget FA Cup winners. We're now into the double. Will it be the treble? That is not the question of tonight. The question tonight is, who are you going to pick for your team of the season? This has been a debate which will go on past this show. I guarantee it. And it will definitely be between Steve and Nathan until the early hours of the morning. But while we have an hour, we're going to put our team together. I'm sure you've all rounded up your teams. You've got your 11 ready. Well, this is the 11 where we have to agree. It's going to be hard, but it will come down to a vote in the end. And I am the making the final decision. What have you got to say, Gar?
An hour? Did you say an hour, bro, for us all to agree on one player? 11
Hey,
players.
whoa. I will cut this off. I'm very strict on time. All right. So let's get the team selector up. Right. Where are we? There we go. Team selector is up. I know the first thing people are going to say. Formation? Who's already got a problem with the formation?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Oh,
with that.
all right. Nathan's coming with the I don't cares. This is a different energy today, Nathan. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
3 midfielders and 4 defenders. I don't
Yeah.
care where they play. As long as they're attackers, they're going up there. As long as they're midfielders, they're going in there.
I'm with that.
All right. That's good. The easy one, the first one. Goalkeepers. Steve, who you got in goal?
Who I got in goal? Well, for me, it came down to 2 in the end. I think Nick Pope's had a great season. He has to get a mention because Newcastle let in the less goals this season, 33 goals. Still doesn't really get in England look-ins, but can't say out of that. But he has to get a shout out for his performances this season. But look, you're gonna think that this is sort of a trait how it's gonna go on, but it's not.
You can't even do it. You're laughing already, Steve. We all know who you're picking.
But for me, it has to be Aaron Ramsdale.
This is gonna be tough today. I'm gonna be making a lot of decisions, I think.
Yeah, no,
I'm going with De Gea then. I'm going to go with De Gea then.
it has to be Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, look, it's tough. It's really tough. You've got Alisson. You've got Edison. You've got Pope. You've got Ramsdale. What did it come down to in the end? I think it come down to the goalkeeper who
Actually plays for Arsenal.
Proper reason.
It came down to the goalkeeper who I felt who has made the most, important saves in big football matches. And for me, that's Aaron Ramsdale.
It came down to who's made the most important saves for Arsenal. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Completely get it.
And I think without that, he's done more than Matt Turner. So
it was Ramsdale and Turner. Yeah. All right, good start. Nathan, now I know full well there is no way you can crowbar your goalkeeper in. So come on, who you got for me?
Well, since Steve's doing it, I might as well.
No, you're not. You're not doing it.
Listen, he's got the most clean sheets this season and the most mistakes this season, unforced errors as well. So he's cut them off. Yeah, no chance is he getting in there. No chance. I told him already. I've told Steve that I don't have blinkers on. I pick who I pick. I don't care who they play.
Shots fired.
No, but your goalkeeper does have blinkers on every single game. That's the problem.
Well, come on. We're already 4 minutes in. I've not even got past the goalkeeper on the second person.
Listen, I'm not even going to say anything more. The Newcastle have a great defense this season. Nick Pope is the man between the sticks. He's getting it for me. Simple as that.
That's Nick Pope 1, Aaron Ramsdale 1 currently. Kevin Parker, who have you got in goal?
Well, Edison only conceded 33 goals this season as well, of course, equal with Nick Pope. I think Ramsdale and De Gea conceded 43, so they're not within any chance of being selected. I did consider, actually, Raya from Brentford. I think he's had a really good season. But I've gone for Nick Pope. For me, that's an easy choice, to be honest with you. I think consistently all the way through, you can see the massive impact he has on that team and that defence. So very easy for me, Nick Pope.
All right, that's 2 for Nick Pope. That's Kevin and Nathan, and 1 for Aaron Ramsdale. Farrell, who have you gone for in goal?
Oh, it's a very easy decision for me. It has to be Alisson Becker. You know, he collected those goals. No, it's not.
To be fair, he has been in 2 of the team of the seasons I've seen this so far. One was Jamie Carragher, though.
He's not playing.
Just to implement, you know, a bit of sort of. I mean, Garth and I were having a chat about this beforehand, but just to implement, you know, a bit of statistical support. He has prevented the most goals this year, ahead of Bert Leno behind him for Fulham. Difference, as far as I'm concerned, between Liverpool finishing mid-table and getting 5th and getting European football. He's been phenomenally consistent. Frankly, the defence he's had in front of him, the midfield he's had in front of him has been atrocious this season. Alisson Becker has been the shining light of Liverpool's season. I could not be more confident with that.
Okay, you've gone for Alisson. It's not. I think it's a fair shout, even though you've gone for your own goalkeeper. I do think it's fair.
Just a quick shout on that. I do like the way what you've said. So I didn't think of him at the time, and obviously everyone looks to the team that's done the best all the time, but sometimes it's not so cut and dry. So you've mentioned that they have conceded loads, they have had loads of shots against them, and it is a good shout. So
I think the goalkeeper who's made the most saves, actually, is why I went for the Brentford goalkeeper, is Raya from Brentford. I think you find he's saved more shots than any other goalkeeper. So I don't mind Alisson. It's not a bad shout, but I would still stick with Pope.
Yeah, same here, but I'm saying it's not like crazy.
No, it's not crazy. I agree.
Yeah, I think Raya's a definite fair shout. I think he got in the Spain squad this season as well, and I don't think he's going to be at Brentford for too long, if I'm honest.
Too surprised if he ends up United.
Garth, who's your goalkeeper?
Everyone else seems to say this was the easiest one. This was the hardest position for me. I think there was 4 outstanding candidates for it. But I mean, if we're going on least goals conceded, I'm going Jack Butland. Didn't concede a goal all season.
Played for 2 different clubs, Man United and Crystal Palace, I think.
Exactly, 2 clubs didn't concede a goal. No, I mean, for me, Alisson was right up there for me. That's not a joke. I thought Edison was right up there. It come down to Ramsdale and Pope for me, and I have to agree with Kevin. Ramsdale conceded more goals. He's got that mistake at the end of the season that was right in the front of my brain as well, where he kicked it straight out after 4 minutes. So it's Nick Pope. It has to be Nick Pope. I think he's done more for Newcastle.
It was 30 seconds.
Was it 30 seconds? There you go. It was right in my brain.
It was so quick.
Mistakes.
It was ridiculous.
I'm sure he's made mistakes. But that Ramsdale was right in my brain. So it's Nick Pope. He's done more for his club than any other goalkeeper, I think.
All right. So our goalkeeper, the first position in the squad, will be going to Nick Pope. He has made. Oh, there we go. No. All right. Live TV people. Ha ha. Oh God.
Keep us, Stuart, but you're not in this, mate. You're not in this one.
Whoa. Slow down. All right. In goal, we have Nick Pope. Newcastle's Nick Pope at an 88.
Oh, look at those stats as well.
Team of the season one as well.
Tasty goalkeeper, that is. I like that one.
Oh, look at that.
A lot of FIFA pods in here today. I see.
For my team, so no one's taking his place.
I'm like, that means nothing to me. Nothing. We're going to start with the right back. Steve, give us your right back.
Right back, yeah, I probably found this one quite the easiest one of the lot overall. I think this one's because out Ben White, he's had a good season. He tailed off towards the end though a little bit. Trent Arnold, very similar, someone who you can sort of twist it where he sort of started not too good, but came on further along into the season. Wan-Bissaka, he's got to have a shout. He did very well. Cole Walker again, Colossus again. for Man City. But I think we've got to go on the one who's been the most consistent since the season started. And for me, that's got to be Kieran Trippier.
I thought you was going to go through every single team, Steve, and give them a shout out there.
I only know
But
it
yeah.
once, so anyone can know it. Otherwise I wouldn't.
That's a fair shout, Trippier. That's a fair shout. Nathan, who you got a right back?
I just wanted to say, Steve's got a clanger in the works,
I know you have as well, you cheeky git. 100%.
Yeah, when
100%.
James turns up on the left wing.
But yeah, look, I'm going with someone we wanted to get him. We should have got him. We missed a trick not getting him, and he moves on to Newcastle, and he's just on fire. Like, set plays amazing, crossing great. He does the right things pretty much all the time, and like I say, he probably is the most consistent player at right back this season. Kieran Trippier.
At the time when you was linked with him, was that one you wanted to go for?
Yeah, I wanted him because I liked him for England as well. I liked him over there in Spain, and I just thought, I wondered if he was getting too old to come back and play for us. But look at him; he's still playing the same, and I did want him in. I wanted him in because I knew he had the quality. When I watched him for Tottenham, when they played that great football going forward, he was the fullback on the right side, getting forward and putting balls in, and you can see the difference in that kind of quality when it comes in first time and it's right in the danger areas. Mm-hmm. He's the man that can do that, and there's not many. You guys, Liverpool got him, City have got him, Arsenal got him, United don't have him. Sure, a little bit, but nothing like that.
And another player that came from the City Academy. Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Kevin, who's your right back?
Yeah, listen, I think the Premier League are blessed with pretty good right backs. To be honest with you, I think Reece James, had it not been for injury, he's an excellent right back, isn't he? I think Cal Walker stuttered at the start of the season, but has had a fantastic, middle to end of the season. I think Wan-Bissaka has come back in Manchester United team and played very well when he looked to be on his way out. Listen, I think we've had this conversation about Trent Alexander-Arnold, who plays at right back. He's a fantastic footballer. I think Liverpool have probably found their true position for him now. But again, I agree with Steve and Nathan. It's got to be Trippier. I couldn't ever get past the thought of it being him. Very, very easy choice. Great captain. Is he the captain? Great captain. Yeah, great leader. Takes dead balls. Scores goals. And he's just so solid, I think. You look into his eyes as a footballer, he's not scared of that fight at all. And I think he will help take that club even further forward. Yeah,
I agree. Farrell, who have you gone for at right back?
Yeah, no, it's a shame with Trent, isn't it? Really, after the tactical tweak, if they had that form the entire season, I think the choice would be very clear for me. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it has to be Kieran Trippier. He's been highly consistent for Newcastle, critical for the club securing Champions League football. He's got the second most assists for a defender, I would say, behind Trent this season. Amazingly, don't know how that's happened. Monster for chances from set pieces, just all round pretty dependable. Yeah.
All right. It looks like a clean sweep. Garth, are you going to change it? Kieran Trippier for you?
No, I mean, Kieran Trippier should win it.
Wan-Bissaka.
No, this is a stats pick. I honestly haven't seen this fella much this season, but Kenny Tete at Fulham, his stats are actually incredible. He's got only 2 assists. He's only got 2 assists less than Kieran Trippier, the same amount of goals, but he's played almost 10 games less. I think it's 9 games less than Kieran Trippier. He's actually been amazing. If the stats are what they're saying, it's ridiculous form for a player at Fulham. So there's Kieran Trippier is one. I'm going to throw Kenny Tete out as just a shout, but it should be Kieran Trippier.
Honourable mention there.
Yeah. Honourable mention.
I'm sure Kenny Tete would be very happy with that. Kieran Trippier goes in there with a 92 score. All right, Steve, who's your left back?
Yeah, this is a shootout. This is just a shootout between 2 players. This is between Arsenal's Zinchenko and Manchester United's Luke Shaw. Massive fan of them both. 2 totally different types of left back. Shaw, who's much a better defender, old school if you like, but can get forward. Zinchenko, much better football player, probably better at going forward. Likes to move into midfield as well. Again, but not as strong as a defender than what Luke Shaw is. Zinchenko, I must admit, it's again a bit similar to White. He tailed off towards the end of the season. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I've got to say what I see. This is hard for me to say, but I don't think Shaw all season for me has been really good, and I have to, be honest with myself. So yeah, it hurts. But I'm gonna have to say Luke Shaw.
All right, can't lie. I'm surprised at that one. Luke Shaw gets the nod for Steve. It's
very, very it's like that minuscule. It's like
okay. Nathan, who are you going for at left back?
Well, there's a few people I want to mention. I do want to mention Ake at left back for City. So he was great. But the thing is, he doesn't always play left back. So he goes centre back, goes left back. Then they play a free. So it's hard to choose him as your left back just for that reason only. But if he was just a left back, he would have probably had my shout. Then I was looking at Zinchenko, the way he makes his. Obviously, we know his attacking ability. He's so comfortable on the ball, and he makes Arsenal obviously that extra dimension by having that kind of football and going into the midfield and playing that kind of way. I do love what I see going forward, but as Steve said, defensively, Shaw has been pretty great throughout the whole of the season, I would say, apart from the first couple games where we had that blip. After that, he turned back into the Shaw that we've seen the previous seasons where we call him Roberto Silva. He was defending really well. Then he was called to go in centre-back, done a great job, even against, obviously, the big boys, City, when we played them away. He had to do a job in there, did it. And he's just been ever-present all season. So then he's gone back left-back and he's continued to do the same. He's been a major part of why we've had so many clean sheets. And to be fair, he's been the most consistent and he's been fit all through the season. Not really injured. Maybe one game injured throughout the whole season or so. So to be fair, I was edging towards Zinchenko at one point in the season. Then when you guys crumbled a bit, I thought, you know what? Sure. I'm only saying that.
Start there.
No. But when Zinchenko started tailing off a little bit, he started making a few mistakes, and then he's kind of gone off the boil, like not anywhere near the levels he was on. I think Shaw just tipped it. So I think in Shaw, I think I'm going to give Shaw it.
All right, Luke Shaw. It's interesting this tail off crumble with Zinchenko.
I'm using
it's interesting.
Steve.
Interesting choice of words there, considering he probably played bad for about 5 games all season. Very interesting.
You're right.
Kevin, who have you gone for at left back?
Yeah, I think the same 3 came into my thinking. Ake, who I think has had an unbelievable season, incredible. And he's become the first choice left back at City. But Nathan's right. Pep's played him across that back 4. He's even played him at right back a couple of times. Zinchenko, I love Zinchenko, absolutely. When he was at City, he was a fan's favourite. And I think he started the season absolutely fantastic. And I was no surprise that he slotted right into that team and galvanised them, really. But he did tail off a little bit towards the end of the season. Not overly bad, I don't think to the point where he was shocking, but I as much as it pains me to say it, I look at Luke Shaw and he has been pretty consistent all the way through. In United's bad games, and they have had some bad games this season. 6-3 at City, 7-0 at Anfield, have been 4-0, 4-1 at Brentford. I think in all of those games, even in those games, Luke Shaw was fairly solid, consistent. Again, he's a little bit like Trippier, I think. He just doesn't let you down for me now. He looks solid. He's an experienced Premier League footballer. He doesn't seem to be impacted too high or too low during a game. I think for Manchester United, he probably is Mr. Consistency. So I would go for Luke Shaw at left back this season. I mean, normally it would seem strange to me that you would have this sort of compensation. And Robertson from Liverpool you would always think he's part of the conversation. He's just not been on it this season for whatever reason. Maybe he suffered because of Liverpool's lack of a decent midfield.
Yeah, I
this
think they all have, haven't they?
Whereas Luke Shaw has probably just got on with it. So yeah, I'm going for Luke Shaw on this one.
Probably because he's used to not having a midfield, so he just has to crack on with it. Farrell, who have you gone for at left back?
Yeah, no, I've gone for a somewhat left field choice in Brighton's Pervis Estupiñán.
Oh, as a player, great choice.
Honestly, I just think, I think he's been utterly overlooked. To be honest, I think he's been absolutely fantastic. He's replaced Brighton's player of the season, the fans' player of the season, in Mark Cucurella last year. Registered 6 assists and a goal in the Premier League, 9 goal contributions across all competitions. Just been a key cog in the side, in a position that many Brighton fans expected would be a problem one for them. He's formed a brilliant partnership with Moises Caicedo and Karu Mitoma. Brilliant crosser of the ball, kind of has everything you want from a fullback, really. Defensively reliable, and it's got industry sort of going forward. So Pervis Estupiñán for me.
No, it's a great shout. He's been relentless all season, up and down that wing. He was a thorn in Arsenal side when they played him in the league and in the cup as well. Garth, have you gone for a left back?
Same Pervis Estupiñán. I think I can't. If you're looking at the stats, he's the best left back in this league. Period. Playing for Brighton, he absolutely smashes Zinchenko, Aki, and Shaw for what he's doing at a club that small with the players he's got around him. Amazing performances, and I agree with Farrell. Completely overlooked for some reason. I'm guessing it's because he plays for Brighton. That's the only thing I can think. So,
all right. So far, it's a solid looking team with Pope, Shaw, and Trippier in the starting lineup. Steve, you give us your centre-back pairing.
Yeah, again, very, very difficult. A lot of really good centre-backs this year. The Varane, Martinez, we've got Stones, Diaz, Saliba, Botman, loads of them. Very, very, very difficult. I'm going a bit left field. Well, people may not think it's left field, but maybe it's two that people may not say. But I'm going to go for William Saliba, and I'm going to go for Newcastle's Sven Botman, because I just think with Saliba, I think he was absolutely Arsenal's best player up until he got injured. When he got injured, it left a massive gap in Arsenal defence, a massive reason why, we could have said that we dropped off. He was majestic. He was just playing like people was calling him the new Rolls Royce, the new Rio. So for me, he goes in. And Sven Botman, again, very similar to like what we've been saying already, that he's in a defence that only let in 33 goals. So to not have there must have been one reason why they part of their defence with Trippier, and I think Botman was the other. But one thing I want to do, because I feel bad leaving him out, and I really want to put him in, and I'm still tempted to put him in over Saliba a little bit, and I must shout out John Stones, because he has been absolutely outstanding this season, playing as centre back and also now playing in midfield. I was like this, whether to go with him or Saliba, but I've just gone for Saliba because of what he meant to Arsenal at the beginning of the season and what we was when he got injured. But massive shout out to John Stones, incredible season.
All right. Nathan, who have you got your centre back pairing?
I'm going to start with the one that Steve has just mentioned. John Stones is my centre back of the year. He's been absolutely tremendous. Unbelievable, gone from strength to strength. I remember when he first came and he was overconfident, he was making silly little mistakes, totally cut them all out, and totally just making the right decisions all the time. This season, Pep has just come in and said, listen, I want you to do something else today. Starting from today, I want you to get in midfield, and I want you to play make as well. He's gone and done that, gone forward, and they've played some next formation, spoken to other players, making them play right back, wingers and stuff. He didn't care. He just said, I'm just reinventing the wheel. And Stones has been so comfortable doing that. It's been ridiculous. And then City have gone from strength to strength, and they don't look like conceding too many goals. Even before, I used to think they were a little bit susceptible to a counter-attack. They've kind of even tightened that up even more. than they were. And he's been the main one. I think he's been the best performing centre back in the league. Overall, most consistent in the whole league. And he's been fit pretty much all season, I think. So yeah, he gets my first vote, definitely. And number 2 is my man, my guy, Martinez. Reason why I put him in is because he brings United from a mediocre basic team to a team that can compete with the best teams. I think he's transformed our team to a different level. Like I say, when I watch all defenders, some defenders are very good at defending. Some are good at playing the ball forward. But this guy here, he's got everything. He makes us tick. He's the start of all of our attacks. His timing of passes, his delivery to people, it's just everything that you need in a defender. He's got like all of it to a very high level. And like I said, he transforms us from a normal team to a team that can compete with the Arsenals, the Cities, the Newcastles. Without him, we just can't. We're nowhere near it. So that's why he brings up our team more. When we're in, I don't see any other defender that comes into the team and brings up the team so much. And I think that's why I would put him in there as my other centre back. So they're my 2.
All right, Martinez and Stones for Nathan. Kevin, who have you gone for?
Might not surprise you. I've gone for John Stones and Ruben Diaz. I think that's the best centre-half pairing in the Premier League by a country mile, to be honest with you. I did, look at other options in that. It's always difficult to not include Virgil van Dijk in the conversation when you talk about centre-halves, but I don't think he's had the best of seasons at Liverpool. I think injury took its toll. I think you can see that really serious injury that he had. I wouldn't say he's not got over it, but you seem to see that it's had an impact on him. Martinez has not been too bad, but I find it difficult, again, if we refer to the previous conversation, I find it too difficult to pick a centre-half that's been in a team that lost 7 and 6 and 4. He's part of that, so I don't ever see that Diaz or Stones would be part of that. I mean, it's difficult for me because I look at the likes of Aymeric Laporte and Ake, Go on, sorry.
Kev, can I ask you one thing, Kev? Did you consider the fact that we got the most clean sheets this season and it's mostly down to him playing in our side as well? I know we did concede goals a lot, but I think
I considered him. No, I did consider him. I looked round and, you look at all the teams and I did consider him, but I just couldn't put him in ahead of Diaz or Stones because of those games. I mean, at Liverpool, I seem to remember they took him off. He got substituted. So, and I'm not just judging it on one game, but there's enough games for me to. I think he'll be different next season. I think he'll be better again. Martinez, he certainly doesn't take any prisoners. I like that about footballers. I'm a bit old-fashioned.
Yeah.
He's fitted right into the Premier League. He's got the pace of it. If you can't get the man, get the ball. I like that. It's absolutely part of the way I like football to be played. So I did consider him, but I can't see beyond Diaz. Diaz came into the City team after we lost because he'd been injured and a little bit out of form, although playing well because of this rotation thing. He came in after we lost 1-0 at Spurs. Well, we didn't lose a game again all season in the Premier League until we lost at Brentford on the last day. Since we signed him, Diaz, with 2 Champions League finals and 1 semi-final, we've won the Premier League 3 years on the trot. I think people underestimate the massive impact that he has on the whole of that team. He's not the first choice captain. They have this funny thing at City where they have 3 or 4 captains. I think he's the third choice. He is definitely the leader on the field, without a shadow of a doubt. And John Stones has just turned into Franz Beckenbauer, hasn't
he? Yeah, he always had the potential to be absolutely outstanding, Stones. He was just making sure he kept it simple.
So Diaz and Stones for me.
Diaz and Stones. Farrell, who have you gone for?
I've gone for Ruben Diaz and William Saliba. It's quite interesting, but statistically, if you look at sort of City's win rate, it does seem to be affected when Ruben Diaz isn't on the pitch. I know there's plenty of good reasons to pick John Stones, but I think I'm more convinced by the arguments for Diaz. Saliba, I did weigh up Botman and a City double at the back. But I think Saliba's played 27 league games this season. I think the last 10, the last few 11 sort of missed through injury. But I'd just like to be enough of a sample size to sort of go off on. I think so. They've won. So they conceded 25 times over the course of those games, and then 15 times without him in 11 games. I just think he was absolutely phenomenal. Utter shame he got injured. You do wonder what might have happened to Arsenal
Wasn't a
season.
shame he got injured.
Not for City. But certainly for Arsenal. So I think, Saliba and Diaz for me.
All right. Diaz with 2, I think that is now. Saliba with 2. And Stones with 2. And Martinez with 1. Garth,
Come on, Garth.
you're going to make the big decision here.
Go
I mean, Harry Maguire did another great season. Obviously, done really well for us. For me, I've got a feeling. Me and Farrell got. Did you look at my notes or something, mate? Or did I see yours at some point? I've gone with I think of the 2 best defenders in this league by a long way, by a long way. Saliba and Diaz. Stones for me. That's a at the moment thing. I'll see next year if he keeps this up, whether he's as good as he's.
I think that's a bit harsh. He potentially, I think potentially he was England's best defender in the World Cup as well, John Stones.
Yeah.
So I think,
but that means nothing. Harry Maguire's class is England's best centre back for the last 3 tournaments. So that means absolutely nothing that he was England's best.
I'm not
defender.
disagreeing with your choice, by the way, but I think dissing down on John Stones, I think he's not.
It's not dissing down, mate. Honestly, you don't take the slightest bit to you. I said at the moment, I'm waiting to see next season if he continues this form. Bigged him up. He's done very well. But
it is on this season, though, isn't it? It is on this season.
I'm having Saliba and Diaz. Diaz is without
It's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice.
Without a doubt, the best defender in the league, Ruben Diaz, by a country mile. William Saliba is going to be the best centre back in the world. Arsenal fans, if you don't sign that team, you are in trouble. Your team falls apart without it.
Hey, this ain't about us. Why is it always coming back to this?
That's
We
right,
just pick a
Kieran.
team.
Got a long way
You've
to
seen
go.
it at the end of the season. You've seen it. Without Saliba, your team's done, mate. So.
I thought Arteta's taking him to Real Madrid.
You know what? I've not even got any words. Just feel sick.
I think Saliba and Diaz for me. Yes,
Kieran, I don't need any of these players, teams from their players think Real Madrid, do you? So don't worry about it, mate.
that's a good
Harry Maguire.
All right. Steve, central midfield pairing. Who have you gone for?
Central midfield pairing.
Oh, it's a trio, isn't it?
Sorry. Trio. Yes. Trio.
Oh, fuck me.
Everyone's What have I said wrong?
I thought I was going back to the 70s then with a 4-4-2. That was what it was.
I mean, the amount of 4-4-2s I've seen this season with Harry Kane and Haaland up front, I'm blown away. But we're waiting to see what everyone's got. Steve, what's your midfield three? What's your midfield three?
My midfield three. Well, look, there's going to be loads of midfielders, mentioned in this, but obviously I've gone for the, traditional diamond of a three with the defensive DM and the two more number 8 and these attacking midfield player. So look, there's loads, and I'm not going to mention them because I'm going to leave.
Thank God for that, because we've only got 25 minutes left.
Bloody hell.
So I'm going to leave others to mention them because there's so many. I'll just give you my midfield three. At the base is Rodri, no brainer for me this season. Consistent all the way through. Been others. If we want to talk about Casemiro and Partey, they've both not had great second parts of the seasons for me.
Put them together, please.
And I thought you weren't mentioning any other players, Steve, either.
One's a liability, one's not, but it's all right. It's okay.
Exactly.
Right, no.
You said one's guilty and one's not then.
Oh my word!
We get a dedication here, mate.
Savage.
Right, where's that pin? Gundogan. He's off. Right. So Rodri. As I said, he's at the base. Is my number 8 Gundogan? I don't really have to say anything, do I? I mean, obviously Xhaka is pushing him hard. You know, we've got to say that. We've got to say that. We've got to say Xhaka is pushing him hard. You know, I was on the seesaw. But look, no, to be serious, now Gundogan's absolutely incredible this season. Absolutely incredible. Could be. I mean, even I know there's other players that have been great this season. Player of this season. This guy's got to be up there, isn't he? Top 3. Even though you're talking about your Haalands, your Odegaards, and whatever. This guy's been incredible. No brainer in the number 8 position. Gundogan, Ilkay Gundogan, incredible. And there's my attacking one. It's got to be Martin Odegaard. 15 goals this season, 7 assists, best midfielder all this season, you know, consistently in the Premier League. So no brainer. That's the going.
Ridiculous statement.
I thought you might as well just gone with the trio at City, innit? You might as well just go for the whole man.
We're talking about
Gundogan in there. Once you put Gundogan in there, I was like,
got 15 and 7.
No, well, once you put Gundogan in there, I was like
7 and 16.
What?
Kevin De Bruyne's got 7 and 18 or 16, depending which one you look at. So.
I think it's the same goal contributions, so roughly the same goal contributions, isn't it? So yeah, it's a bad one. Nathan, who's your midfield trio?
Found this one the hardest, to be fair, because
I always worry when there's a lot of talk
to say
beforehand.
goodbye to formations because it's team of the season. So what's the point picking a team that isn't the team of the season if I have to use formations?
All of a sudden, he's a philosopher. Let's go.
I just thought I'd get the best 3 in there, innit? Just put the best 3. Who's the top 3 midfielders out there? Defensive, attacking, middle. You can't say I want a number 8 who only plays in 8 and I only can choose from the 8s. I'm choosing 3 midfielders.
That's not a team then, is it?
No. I tell you what, yeah.
Players.
I'm with Nathan.
No,
it's
no.
not. Whoa.
Have a look at the team of the season.
Wait. I'm with Nathan, yeah, as long as you're sticking players in their position. But this isn't the Nathan that I know. Nathan is normally Mr. Got to have a DM, got to have an 8, got to have an attacking midfielder. What's going on?
But if that's the case, then you lose out with players who should be in this side, and it's not fair.
There we go. I won't talk about the Harry Kane year.
How can you not have certain players in there because he plays in the middle bit of the middle and not in the?
Who are you going for?
De Bruyne comes in at number 1.
Okay.
He's my first midfielder.
What's DM?
DM. I'm playing 3 in the middle.
He
All
can play
CMs.
anywhere.
I'm playing 3 in the middle, all CMs, and they can be. You can add the middle letter as well if you want. Odegaard gets in there as well.
Yep.
I'm going with Gundogan. I've actually put him ahead of Bruno. I don't want Bruno in there. I think that Gundogan's had a better season.
What, Ramirez? Bruno Ramirez, you mean?
I'm like, what? You put him in front of
Ramirez.
Bruno? I'm like, you didn't mention
Gundogan
Rodri.
No. I'm talking about attacking midfield. I'm talking about midfielders.
Okay.
He's on about Bruno Ramirez,
defensive,
Newcastle, sure.
Midfield. I don't care where they are. I'm putting them 3 in there.
Okay. So you've gone for KDB, Odegaard, and Gundogan. Gundogan's got 2, Odegaard's got 2, and KDB and Rodri both with 1. Kevin, who's your midfield 3?
That's easy, isn't it, Kev?
So I just start typing out Rodri, KDB, and Gundogan.
I have selected KDB, Rodri, and Gundogan.
Right.
I mean, listen, I looked at trying to get Odegaard in there. If you'd have played a 4 in midfield and the 2 up front, he'd be in there, to be honest with you. But I can't get past that 3. I just can't look at it and think that there's anybody that would get in. What I tried to look at it was if it was City's midfield and they're the best team in the Premier League. Facts are facts. Facts are facts. Who's going to replace them in that midfield? And I just couldn't get it.
Nobody.
I should have picked everyone's team beforehand, kept it in an envelope, and then pulled it out at the end because I know all your teams.
No, to be fair, I've tried to be very fair on it. I'm
sure you have, but your
But I
team
think
won
they're
the
the
league.
best 3 midfield players in the Premier League.
There we
so
go.
They've got to
Can't
start.
complain. There's no complaints there. There's a
As long
fair
as I
argument.
don't see Grealish in this side, I'm happy with you, Kev. I'm happy with you. You'll
No
go very
comment.
low in my estimation. if he
No
goes at-
comment. Farrell.
You'll be surprised by my choice there, I think.
Who? Oh, here we go. I'll
Oh.
be shocked. Farrell, who have you got as your midfield 3?
Yeah, no, short and sweet. Martin Odegaard, Rodri, and Kevin De Bruyne.
All right. This is going to be a tight one. We've got Kevin De Bruyne with 3. Odegaard with 3. Gundogan. Rodri, sorry. Rodri.
Yeah.
Rodri with 3. Gundogan with 3. Garth, key decisions here. I've got none of them. Is that what you're going to say?
No. I'm going to say that. Yeah, me and Farrell are definitely got the same teams. Exactly the same for me. Rodri, a defensive midfielder, Kevin De Bruyne, and Martin Odegaard. I don't think there's any. Like, I understand where you're coming from with Gundogan, but Nathan just said he's picking the 3 best midfielders in the league. They are the 3 best midfielders in the league by
I
stats.
think we've met up for coffee beforehand.
Yeah, you know,
I think you have. There's a loving going on. What is going on here?
Yeah, so I tried to get Bruno Fernandes in. He's had a great season, 8 goals, 8 assists in 35 games for Man United. Solid. I hate people that underrate Bruno Fernandes. The people that act like he ain't a good footballer, it infuriates me. He's a great player, but he ain't getting him past Kevin De Bruyne or Odegaard. Odegaard's been fantastic all season. And yeah, Rodri, as a Man United fan, I'm going to say he's the best defensive midfielder in the world. But
I
he is.
think it was this season I realised how good
Yeah.
Rodri was.
Casemiro's
He's been
excellent.
Same
but
here,
Rodri is the best defensive midfielder in the world. So
And can you believe that two seasons ago, Pep didn't play him in the Champions League final?
Yeah, I know, and that was his downfall.
yeah,
Crazy,
Pep
isn't
has a habit of doing that sometimes. Like, don't he's just not picking the best player of a position, trying something new. You know what I mean? I've
He's
seen him do
learned
it a couple
that
of times.
lesson, I think he's learned that.
All right,
Oh,
here
yeah.
is your midfield, your team so far.
This is it.
It's
This is
Nick
it.
Pope, your centre-back pairing of Ruben Diaz and William Saliba, Luke Shaw at left-back, right-back Kieran Trippier, midfield 3 of Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Martin Odegaard. It's looking nice. Steve, who are your front 3? Actually, go on. No, we'll start with the left. Got time. Start with the left.
We'll start with the left. It's down to 3. I'm still struggling now. I must admit, I'm still struggling now. Which one to pick? Jack Grealish. You know how I feel about Jack Grealish, and for the people who don't reckon he's a decent player, I can't. I don't know. I don't, Greg. He's been absolutely outstanding all season, and he fits into that the way Pep's wants to play perfectly. I mean, he's just a genius, Pep. The way he's just picked up Grealish, totally different player, Aston Villa, and put him into this Man City side, knowing that he will fit into what he wants him to do. And now they're chasing the treble with him playing nearly mostly every game this season. He's got to be looking with a shout. Marcus Rashford, been credible sometimes. Been Manchester United match winner. If he wasn't there, I'm sure a lot of Man United fans would say, would they be in Champions League position now if it wasn't for Marcus Rashford?
No.
Scored 17 goals and 5 assists, incredible. And then we've got our own man here at Arsenal's Martinelli, 15 and 5. Very, very, very difficult. Probably like on a consistent basis, you would probably say Jack Grealish has been the better consistently over the season. Where Rashford and Martinelli have had their times where they've had fits and starts at times, been injured at points. It's hard. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. Martinelli 15 and 5, Rashford 17 and 5. Martinelli's probably in a better team, I'm sure.
What did Grealish get? Sorry, what was Grealish's number?
I don't know.
Oh, you only got them 2.
I'm gonna. Because no disrespect.
Come on, Steve, bite the bullet.
No disrespect to Manchester United, but I don't think they're as good a side as Arsenal. So that's why I'm going for Marcus Rashford. So I don't think they'll be where they are if it wasn't for him. But I think Arsenal would probably just get away with Martinelli. And again, it's so tight, so close. I'm just going to tip for Marcus Rashford.
All right, Rashford gets the vote for Steve. Nathan, who have you gone for on the left?
I didn't do it like that, so I don't know how to do this. But
Here we go. I've been saying to you all one of Harry Kane on the left. I've been saying to you all the show.
Nathan's got
Since you from the start, can't have him on the left, mate.
Don't do this to us, Nate.
Mitch.
No, it's up to you. Who are you willing to lose?
Mitrovic left wing. Nathan's got.
listen, I ain't losing no one because there's 3 attacking players that I think are the best, have done the best this season.
Who are you putting on
If
the
you're
left-hand
looking
side?
at left, right, and centre, again, if you're looking at a player to link up play, it's a different thing, isn't it? You're looking at who's done the best this season, goals, assists, and actually performances all in all, overall, then it's a different thing. Because if I'm picking the team, if you think about City, for example, I wouldn't put Rashford on the left over Grealish, but he's had a better season than him. So what can I do? Do I
Pick a name. That's what you can do.
Name a player. Yeah.
Name a player.
Any player you want, mate.
Well, my first striker is Harry Kane, so I'll put Harry Kane.
You can put Harry Kane on the left.
Harry Kane has been
the
the best striker, the second best striker in the league this season.
All right.
And he's in my forward line.
All right,
Harry Kane.
you've got him on the left. Harry Kane's on the
Harry
left.
Kane's
Harry
playing.
Kane left wing.
Don't go
Love
on the
that.
left wing, but he's my free.
Bold decision. Bold decision.
Harry
I like
Kane's
it.
playing.
Gutsy.
There's no way he
Kevin.
doesn't get in the squad.
Kevin, who have you got on the left?
Yeah, some good shouts in there. I think Martinelli, Rashford, Grealish, other players have performed in and out during the course of the season. I've gone for Rashford. Let's make it nice and easy. I think he's had an excellent season. I think at the start of the season, when United weren't performing particularly well, he was still plodding on, doing the job, not quite knowing, I think, at times who he was meant to. The United had to go through that whole Ronaldo thing, and it still didn't impact on Rashford. Fair play. And in fact, as soon as Ronaldo was gone, Rashford was still right at it.
Yeah.
So Rashford for me.
All right, Rashford's got the 2 votes there. Farrell, who have you gone for?
Yeah, no, I've gone for Rashford as well. I think I agree, with Steve's argument. I think he's been absolutely instrumental. You look at some of the other sort of forward options United have had this season, Sancho and Anthony, highly inconsistent. Rashford has been so integral to everything that United have done this season. So it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned.
Garth, you left?
Got nothing left to add to all of that. Yeah, Marcus Rashford, without a doubt, he's been the most important left winger to a team this season. So yeah, he takes it. Like, he's not the best, but to us, he's been more important to on the left than any other left winger to their team. So yeah, Rashford.
Yeah, and I'd probably say he's probably been the most consistent the whole way through the season as well. Because I know for a fact Martinelli's dropped off like at parts of the season. Not even just, it wasn't even at the end because he actually picked up form towards the end. It was probably in and around the season he was dropping in form. Steve, who have you gone for your right wing?
It's out of 2. It's very simple. It's out of Bukayo Saka, and it's out of that man again. It's out of Mo Salah. I didn't realise the type how many goals he scored this season. I didn't realise how many assists that he's given for Liverpool this season. I don't think I've watched Liverpool enough this season, to be fair, because I don't remember seeing Liverpool that many times. But he's 19 goals, 12 assists in a season where he hasn't really been mentioned by anybody, is he? The name Mo Salah, but in little fits and starts, you're hearing his name come up, his stats, and you can't ignore that. Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, absolutely outstanding. Been this season, 14 goals, 11 assists. But I think I think he's been instrumental to Arsenal. I'm going to have to go for Saka, but Mo Salah, 19 and 12, he's done it again. It's very hard for me to put Saka in.
I like the way you took yourself out of that, Steve, to be fair.
You've got to put Salah in. Salah's been amazing. I can't see how Saka beats him. I really can't.
This is what I mean.
Saka's
Anyway.
done. Salah is like a goal scorer, mainly assist mate. Saka does everything. He's a right back. He goes into the middle.
Oh, sorry. All
He
Mo
comes
Salah
out-
does it from the
is
wing.
He goes out on the
All Mo
left.
Salah does is score and get assists. Is that? Sorry, mate. I
He does.
must have forgotten what a right wing is about. I must have forgotten what he's about. You know what I mean? All he
Yeah.
does is score and get assists. You're right, mate. My argument's done.
It was far too civil for the first 45 minutes, and now it's on.
Look, Saka's the one who's getting mentioned, not by me. He's by everybody. He's in
Right,
everybody's
right.
Premier League team of the season. So
Okay.
it's not just me. And people, it's all right. I wanted to give Mo Salah a big shout out this season because he's really Liverpool have had a poor season. Farrell will tell you that. And Mo Salah has been Liverpool's best
Yeah.
player by an absolute country mile. Right, very similar to Rashford, because Salah does what Salah does, but Bukayo Saka is been outstanding, and he's just played in nearly every position
season.
for Arsenal this season, all season.
Every Arsenal fans told me he dropped off at the end of the season.
He played.
Every Arsenal fan.
What he played? He's played about 86 games this season.
No, that's not the question. Did he drop off at the end of the season?
Exactly. Change it up again.
Did he drop off at the end of the season? 'Cause
He
every Arsenal fan told me that,
he
mate.
got tired, mate. He got tired.
Which player didn't drop off?
Mo Salah. Well, not even Salah didn't drop off.
You walked into that. You walked into that.
Absolute nonsense.
walked into
nonsense.
that.
You will not find one person who will not put Bukayo Saka in their Premier League this team of the season.
I think we're going to find more.
Story.
You walked into that one now. All right, before we go, Jay Dixon
I've
said,
seen 8 today and 7 had Saka in, so maybe it's me. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But
I
what do
love
I
this game. If I was picking a front three, I'd to play together. I'd pick Grealish, Haaland, and Saka. But it's hard to leave Rashford out with the numbers and impact he's had in our team, on the team. Nathan, who is you?
Yeah, there's one player who's been absolutely on fire this season.
I haven't named my middle one yet. I mean, I'm not confusing you all.
And then there's another player who, who's had a really quiet season this year. So there's these two players I was figuring out who I'm going to choose. The one who had the great season or the one who has the quiet season. And then when I thought about it, I thought, wait a minute. This guy who's had the quiet seasons actually scored and assisted more than the guy who's had the great season. So imagine what that guy who had the quiet season's great season would be like.
We've
That's
seen it. It's
ridiculous.
like 40 plus goals and
Yeah. But when
20
everyone's
assists.
looking at him bagging goals for fun and going, "Oh, that's just him," they don't realize the levels that he's playing at to be in there. That's why he had to be in my side. I had Saka there at first. He was the guy who has an amazing season. He was very good and he's been tremendous and he's improving all the time, finishing, getting up to a next level. And I think he'll kick on again. But Salah, we cannot sleep on this guy's name just because he keeps doing it every year.
It's not
He
about
does
goals
it
and assists all the time,
Yes,
Nathan. It's not all about goals and assists.
Yeah, you're right. Football's not about goals. You're
No,
right.
yeah, but there's other parts of the game, you know. You
I
can't
know.
just.
I know.
Nathan, you took it to a striker, a former Premier League striker, telling him it's not about goals and assists.
Salah's been firing all through the season, bagged enough goals, back up there again. Don't take his name out until he stops scoring, please. Leave him in there while he's still doing his damn thing. Liverpool fell off a cliff this season, and he still didn't. He's gone and killed it again. So for me, Salah's getting my right side. Harry Kane's on my inside left.
Harry Kane ain't getting in this team.
He's
I'm
in
just
my
telling you
inside
that.
left.
I'm telling you that
He's in
now.
my team.
30
He
Premiership
ain't
goals.
getting in there.
Man's on fire. He's in there. He's
Kevin,
had a better season than Rashford.
who
I know
who
that.
got on the right?
Yeah, listen, listen. I think Saka's had a great season. A very good young player. You know, he's more than a prospect now. He's actually an established Premier League player.
Yeah.
So I think Arsenal have done well to tie him down to make sure that when they do sell him, they get a really decent fee for him. I think that's the.
I thought you was going to say something about going to you there. I was like,
He
I'm not
will
ready
do
for
as well,
this.
by the way.
I'm not ready for this.
I wouldn't be surprised if that still happens because I think if Bernardo leaves City and Mahrez is at the end, Mahrez has had a great season as well, by the way.
Yeah, he has,
Yes,
yeah.
I think he played-
17 goals, is it?
Yeah, I
Ridiculous.
think he's had a fantastic season. And Bernardo's not done bad, but you cannot overlook Mo Salah for this. I mean, he just gets on with it. And there's an element of him sometimes as a supporter, you look at him and you think, it's a bit of a greedy so-and-so, isn't he, that fella? But, you do look at that, don't you? Sometimes you think, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't always need to look for a second option because his first option generally is a goal or an assist. There is. He is such a fantastically consistent striker. I don't see him really as a right winger, even though he is. I mean, he's just naturally gifted. He's very Messi-like for me. He just has this natural ability to be able to get the ball without knowing where that net is. I think he's a gift for Liverpool. He's an absolute gift. And the season that Liverpool have had consistently, he's maintained a level. And that's not a negativity about Saka. I think he's had an unbelievable season. A very, very, very good Premier League footballer who's had a great season. But I cannot go beyond Mo Salah. I can't.
So Mo Salah's currently got 3 votes and Saka's got 2 votes and Saka's got 1. Farrell, who are you going for?
Yeah, I'm sure my choice will absolutely shock you all. It will be, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mohamed Salah. Bukayo Saka has had a brilliant season. Phenomenal player. I think Klopp has spoken many times about Martinelli and Saka. He's a phenomenal player, and he's going to have a brilliant career. But I just think, you look at Salah's numbers, and if he'd just been bought this summer and posted that sort of season, even without a solid midfield behind, without any sort of solid service, I just think it's insane, really. I didn't even 46 goal contributions across all competitions in 51 games. I know that's beyond the Premier League, but even 31 goal contributions. He's only behind Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. He's just a monster of a forward. I think he's a victim, to be honest, of his prior success. He's my choice.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised by his defensive stats as well. Garth, who you gone for your final spot?
We've still got a striker, haven't we?
Right wing.
Right wing, sorry, right? Yeah, it's Mo Salah. It's Mo Salah. Saka's had a great season, but honestly, no joking aside, Steve. The reason I went with Salah in weren't just the stats; it's that a lot of Arsenal fans told me that Saka at the end of the season really dropped off, and admittedly because he was tired, but his performances really dropped off. Salah was on fire all seasons. Farrell's already said it, mate. 31 goal contributions in 38 games, and people aren't talking about him. It's madness, absolute madness.
I did say that, didn't I? I did say that.
No, you did. I mean, a lot of people aren't talking about it, not yourself, mate. But yeah, it's madness. Madness stats. He's still the best right winger in the league. So yeah, Salah.
Yeah. All right. So we've got 2 more positions: the forward, the centre forward, and the manager. Steve, who is your centre forward?
I'll get it out of the way. Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Outside the box. I thought this was going to be the easiest one, but it's going to take 5 seconds, mate.
You are having it.
What's your thought process?
What?
What's your thought process?
Yeah, go on. You just ain't going.
Harry Kane. I mean, again, as soon as you say Harry Kane, people are going to say, Wayne Ireland. You don't rate Ireland, Steve. You don't rate Ireland. You don't rate good Ireland is. Absolute nonsense. I know what Ireland is. Yeah. Probably been overall this season in Europe, probably the best player in Europe. But
you haven't picked him.
No, this is called the Premier League team of the season. No,
yeah, you just said he's the best player in Europe, but he can't get in the Premier League team.
Yeah, we're talking. But so we're cancelling Europe. Yeah, so we're cancelling Europe. So we're just talking about Premier League.
We left the EU for that reason.
I was going to say this is a Brexit thing.
Ireland scored 36 goals, 8 assists, incredible. In the best team in the world. Ireland, Harry Kane, who got slaughtered this season, actually, really popped at, right? Has just played on his own. 30 goals, 3 assists, playing for the biggest load of shite, right, that you would ever wish to see on this planet. right?
It was venom in that shite. Venom. That's a nice one.
Right, absolute shite. Manchester City are the best team on the planet, right? And there's 6 goals between them, right? Now, if you're asking me who would I pick to have in my side, I would pick Haaland. But for if you cannot overlook what Harry Kane has done for Tottenham on his own this season. 6 goals behind Haaland. I don't want to hear about how many 6s and 7s and 5s and 4s he scored in the Champions League and in the FA Cup. Don't want to know. It's a Premier League team in the season. If you're judging it on the Premier League, right?
Yeah, that's a good shout.
That's my argument.
He's got 5 more assists and 6 more goals in the Premier League. So
that's my argument. Plays for the best team in the world, Kev. Plays for the best team in the world.
All right. Here we go. He's had his say, and now it's yours.
I know no one's going to pick
Nathan.
him because no one else will see that. So, but that's fine.
Well, I mean, you say he's got 6 more goals. He has got 6 more goals. He's got 5 more assists, and he's played 3 less games. So, but this is what opinions are for. This is why we can pick.
Yeah.
Nathan, who have you gone for?
Well, look, I just wanted to give a little opinion on what Steve said there. You know what? He makes a good point, but the only other point is Tottenham are not crap going forward. They've been always good going forward. They've got
because of Harry Kane.
Yeah, they've got good
and Son.
Yeah, Son's had one of his worst seasons ever.
Yeah, he's had a point. He's not had a great season.
Good attacking players, and they haven't got a problem getting the ball in the net. The problem is the other side. They're crap defensively. They're very bad defensively. And chances get created left, right, and centre for them, and they do. He does well. Kane has been absolutely tremendous. That's why I can't not have him in the team of the season because he's been better than Rashford, even though he's on the left. Whatever formation you want to play, he's got to play in. He's got to be in the team of the season. Like someone scoring that amount of goals and doing that well, I can't believe he's not in the squad. And that's why I went with the direction I went with just going with 3 forwards, 3 midfielders, and 4 defenders. Yeah, look, Harry Kane ain't my choice in the middle because there's only one man for the middle. It doesn't even need to say anything, and I ain't gonna say anything. So who's next?
All right, so
Steve's not happy with the situation at all.
There was so much build up there that I'd completely forgotten who you picked. Right.
I ain't saying who I picked because you know who it is. We don't need to say anything.
Berlin.
Nobody needs to say
We do need to say it. That's the game. We do need to say his name.
It's Erling
Call him
Haaland.
Candyman. You call him 3 times. He comes and scores a goal. You don't call his name 3 times.
All right, Kevin, who are you picking as your centre forward?
I'll have a wild guess. I mean, he is a football freak, you know. I mean, and he is just a football freak. And listen, we laughed and joked before about Saka and Martinelli or whoever it was going to Real Madrid with Arteta. I do not think that they're going to be building a statue at the Etihad for Erling Haaland, only because he's not going to hang around long enough. You know, he is going to disappear at some point to another European giant, you know, probably Real Madrid. So we just have to enjoy him while we can. But believe me, I've seen, and the way that he's improved as a player since that very first game at West Ham till the footballer he is now, he's a completely different footballer. Pep has put his magic on him as well. He is a player now that will flick it on, that will hold it up. That, you know, he's a much better footballer than he was. But in terms of that straight through the middle, goal-scoring centre forward in this team this season, no brainer.
Right, that is 2 for Haaland.
Do you think Kane? Do you think Kane? Though, can I ask you? Do you think the myth? Do you think the myth that Kane wouldn't score as many goals in Man City?
One for Kane.
Well,
I caned him as well.
Because it has to be. It has to be. You can't say.
To be fair,
you can't say no.
In this team, I think Nathan might have scored a hatful of goals. So you know.
It's a myth. So that was a myth, wasn't it? That he couldn't. He must easily do it if he could score them for Spurs.
Yeah, but he doesn't play for Man City and he didn't score 36 goals. That is not the argument.
That wasn't the
Haaland
question.
scored 36 goals.
That wasn't the question
Got
either.
8 assists.
That wasn't the question either.
Garth, who are you picking up
got
front?
both of them.
I mean, listen, it's the easiest one in the entire team. I can't believe there's any debate around this. Erling Haaland broke all the records this season, scored more than. Although it's saying, Nate, you can't not have Harry Kane in the team. Yeah, you can, because someone did better than him. Erling Haaland.
In that one position.
So you can. No, but they're both strikers. We're playing a left winger, right winger, and a striker. So you can pick. You can have Harry Kane not in the team.
That's fine. But
you can have Harry Kane not in the team because someone did better.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not based on balance, is it? So, and for you it is, but for me it isn't.
I know what you're saying, but yeah, I was just making a point that you can leave someone out. You know what I mean? We left two goalkeepers out that were exactly the same as Nick Pope, apart from tiny little details. So we can leave players out based on someone doing better than him. It's only Haaland. He's broke.
I would say if he just picked three forwards, he would have just picked three forwards without putting them positionally. I'd written down Kane, Haaland, Rashford.
Yeah, that's
good. He probably does get in.
Yeah,
but for me, Erling Haaland, he's broken every record. He ain't just a goal scorer, 8 assists. I know we're not doing Europe, but man, he's broke everything. He is the best centre forward in the world, bar none. No, after this season, no one has come close to him. It is ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about him anymore. It hurts my soul that he plays for Manchester City. Yeah. It hurts my soul so badly.
That's the scariest thing.
God. And all I can hope for is, I actually agree with you, Kevin. I wonder if it will be in 3 years' time. He's like to off to Real Madrid. I did think that's but maybe not. But maybe not. You never know. So
with Alan Shearer's record in his pocket.
Kevin, if you win the Champions League, do you think that will sort of sway him a bit?
I don't think he'd go this season. No, he wouldn't go after a season. No, I don't think so.
I meant like long term, because if you win it this season, obviously you've still got a phenomenal team. You've got a good chance of being in finals in the near future. Do you think that sort of might sway him a bit, or do you think it's just the great white hope of Madrid?
I think I just see him as that sort of player, and there are players like that who want to go and prove themselves. A little bit like Pep, he stayed longer at City than we thought, but Barcelona, Germany, England, at some point will want to go and do something different somewhere else, either a different country, Italy perhaps, or a national team. And I think Haaland is a little bit the same. He's absolutely loving the Premier League. He's loving the Champions League. He's loving what he's doing. But I still think that he's within himself. He sees a natural sort of change, or maybe even a natural improvement. And I don't mean that as a negative, that he would go to a completely different country that plays football in a different way and see whether he can still score goals. Hopefully that's going to be a while off yet. But listen, if it was the end of this season, we couldn't complain, could we? We've seen absolutely the best of him.
I'd be disappointed, even though he's not playing for my team. I still want to see Haaland in the Premier League. It's been, you want to see the best players in there, although it's like, he's smashing in goals past you, but it's fun. It's good to watch. He's a phenomenon. So our team is done, but there's one more position, the manager.
Oh, do I not get a say on this?
Oh, sorry, Farrell.
The players,
because I went up, down. Farrell, that's it.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to throw a spanner in the Who's it going to be?
Ollie Watkins, out of nowhere. Ollie Watkins.
Ivan Toney, anyone? It's got to be Haaland. I mean, has he equalled Henry's record from the 02-03 season with his goal contributions?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's broken.
I think he equalled it. I should say, I think Steve does make a convincing argument, to be fair to him, with Kane, so credit to that. But I think, my personal choice has got to be Haaland.
Yep. So there's your team so far. It's pressing the wrong screen. It's Nick Pope in goal, William Saliba, Ruben Diaz, Kieran Trippier, and Luke Shaw as the back line. Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Odegaard. Marcus Rashford, Mohamed Salah. I said William Salah there. Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland. Yes, the English version.
You know what's weird, though, Stu, Kears?
You do the same as me.
Team, yeah. Now, if you look at that front three, it wouldn't be the most blending attack, like in terms of football. But then, if you were going to play left-sided player, I would put Rashford there, just for saying who's been the best left-sided forward this season. I would put Rashford there.
I know what you mean. It's not exactly the three that link up, and it's like full of creativity.
Yeah,
however, you have got Kevin De
De Bruyne
Bruyne
just pinging
and Martin
balls in,
Odegaard
Yeah.
spraying balls. Kieran Trippier at right back.
And
Luke Shaw left back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
just what you're going to get
that
is
team
three
scored
real greedy
300
strikers, just really just wanting to score goals all on their own. Like every one of them, just a goal scoring machine, and don't really.
Salah and Haaland have both got big assists this season. Big assists.
Yeah, and
Salah's
I'd like
got
to
8,
see
Salah's got 12.
Salah not pass to Haaland like he did to Mane. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it happen. Steve, who have you gone for your manager of the year? This could be anyone.
Manager of the year. Well, it's got to go to the manager who probably at the beginning of the season who's surprised me the most. Who I didn't expect that they would get out of their team what they have. So for me, that has to go to Eddie Howe. I think with a very, very average team, I thought they would finish round about 10th, 9th. He's shocked me. As I say, with a quite an average side, he's got them into Champions League football, which I never expected. Did I expect Prep to win winning the league? Yep.
Yeah.
You know, did I expect Arsenal maybe to push for Champions League? You know, it was between Arteta and Howe for me, because them two have shocked me the most this season. So for me, a manager, you know, to get that out of your team has got to be looked at. Ten Hag's done well, but you know, I think there's been times of the season when you know he's been found wanting a little bit. So yeah, Eddie Howe, Champions League football. No one would have said they would have made Champions League football this season. So with a very average squad, well, not an average squad, but
It's not average, man. They've got a great team.
I just said it's not.
Alexander Isak, Trippier, Pope. They've got a fantastic team.
I don't get what you're saying,
Mahrez.
Do you listen? Do you listen?
I think Howe's a fair shout. I think Howe's a fair shout.
But it's
Not
not
only that, Newcastle's improvement in numbers in points has not been as much as Man United's improvement in numbers in points either. So how
I would be. I'm not. I don't think you could bring Eric Ten Hag into this conversation.
I'm not putting him in, but if you're talking about most improvement on last season to this season, it is Ten Hag in terms of points.
No, yeah, but it's not about points. It's about on what he does on the pitch.
Season. 18 points on last season.
And you know, before I was shut off, I did say average, but I said, well, no, not average, but a team that you just did not expect to make Champions League football, who I personally, thought would finish round about 8th or 9th. They come 4th in Champions League for the first time in what was it, 20 odd years. So for me, that deserves manager of the season for me. The others did what they probably would expect it to do. So Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe's fair shout. Nathan, I want to hear what you've got to say here. If you're going to say Eric Ten Hag, let's go.
He can't. There's no way.
I'm not saying Ten Hag because I'm just looking at what the reasons he used, and I was like, that don't make no sense. That was all. That was all I was trying to get at.
Did I say what did it make sense?
That you said that he's done the biggest surprise in the numbers, obviously from last year to this year, where you were thought they would be. From last year, they finished a certain amount of points. Now they're on this amount of points, but we've done more than that.
Where did I mention points? I never said anything about points.
So what surprise mean?
Where did you get these words?
So where does it surprise mean? Where does surprise?
They surprise me
from to where they've gone to.
Do you not think that Newcastle, from where they finished last season, which was 11th, have now finished 4th? That's not a surprise.
That's not a surprise.
Yeah, no, because last season they had a changeover and they got players in, and they came from near the bottom to 11th for a reason. And then last season I expect Newcastle to be up there, but hopefully United just picked them this year, because next year they're going to buy more players and be in front of us, maybe, if we're not careful. So I already knew Newcastle were on the move. And I also
knew you expected Newcastle to come top 4?
I did. Well,
I didn't.
Did you?
I said it on the show, mate. Yeah.
I was saying we're going to have a tough one to beat. I didn't think Liverpool would come where they did, is it? I didn't think Tottenham would drop so far. No one expected certain teams, Chelsea, to go right at the bottom. But if you think Chelsea were going to be the team that they are, in and around top 4, whatever, Liverpool as well, and United as well, Newcastle would have been just underneath that. And to be fair, if you were to take out Chelsea and Liverpool from that list, Newcastle would have replaced them. But when you look at the amount of points, I'm saying it is different. But I'm not saying that Man United, obviously, I think Ten Hag's done an amazing job getting us from where we were to where we are. That's for sure. But when you look at Newcastle, what they've done, Eddie's done well. He's done really well.
Who have
But
you gone for?
I don't know.
I was going to say, because all this talk was about how you've not picked out, not who you have
City have
picked.
gone to the next levels, yeah. And I don't think because they win the league, you can just like say, nah, because they won the league, blah blah blah. It's how they won the league, how he's changed his play. Look at the players he's brought in, how he's reinvented the wheel, how he's adjusted and still been able to catch up Arsenal and overtake them again and win the league. Like that is saying something, because I was saying there's a transition here. They have to learn how to play with Haaland. How quick is it going to be? How many points are they going to drop while they got to learn to do that? And then you guys gained a little bit of a march, and then they got it right. And then all of a sudden, bang, Pep is my man of the season.
Learn to play with Haaland. Wow.
Yeah, it's different football, isn't it? They didn't have
of
a
course,
striker.
of course, it's different football, but he was the most sought after striker in world football also. So, and I do think people played up this Man City are better without Haaland at the start of the season.
Did you watch them early in the season?
Yeah, I know. It was adjusting to a style of play when they haven't had a main striker, an out-and-out striker.
Didn't he score like 15 goals in the first 10 games or something?
He did, God. And this is what I mean. It was more about the fluidity of Man City that people were saying is slightly different with Haaland in the team, and I understand that. But I felt that it was over the top. I think it was. I could see it. I could see when I was watching Haaland making runs and getting angry. He could make 5-6 runs and nobody would pass it to him because they were like, nah, that's not what. Nah. And then they realized in training, they must have realized, listen, when he makes that run, you play him the ball. And that's when they started figuring out how to use him even better. That's why you had stupid people saying, you know, Man City were better without him. I understood what he was trying to get at. They were a better side when they didn't have a striker because they were used to that football. But the minute he came in, it was a little bit of a, we're playing at this level, which is still ridiculous, but we could be playing at that level. And that's the difference. Yeah.
I think people were saying they played better football. They not necessarily were better without him. Better football. To the way people were just used to watching Man City play, when they used to have Aguero up front, and efficient's a different word than what you're using. You know, I think people meant
they've only scored 151 goals this season, so they've struggled a bit.
No one said about struggling. No one said about Man City being bad. No one said Ireland's disaster. You know, I think people's opinion on how Man City play was just because they're used to just seeing teams and blow away teams in the early part of the season, 5-0, 4-0, Agueros, all this lot. It's what we've become used to, you know. But Man City.
And going to Nathan's point, I think I agree. That's probably why I would pick Pep as manager of the season, because he's changed it during the course of the season. He has the style of players changed. But listen, we talk about everybody expects Haaland to come and score goals. It didn't happen with Lukaku, did it? He went to Manchester United, he bombed because the coach there didn't know how to get the best out of him. He went to Chelsea, he bombed because the coach didn't know how to get the best out of him. Pep does know how to get the best out of players, but I would like to mention some
Akanji. You better mention
coaches, Akanji, some coaches who, I mean, what's his name? Alvarez. 14 million pounds he cost us, Alvarez. You know, but I would like to give some good mentions. I think these coaches have had fantastic seasons. Gary O'Neill to keep Bournemouth in the Premier League has been unbelievable. City went to Bournemouth and beat them 4-1, I think, and they were bottom of the table, and I thought they're going down without any shadow of a doubt. Steve Cooper, De Zerbi, Marcus Silva, Roy Hodgson late on, they have had unbelievable seasons for me, to be honest with you. But winning the Premier League is all about picking the best players. If you're going to pick the best players, and we pick the best players in the Premier League, the best coach to manage that team is Pep Guardiola, without any.
So does that mean the team who wins the Premier League every year gets the best manager?
No.
Just this year.
No, because Pep has won the Premier League. I remember I remember when City won the Premier League in 2012 under Mancini. Would not won the Premier League for 38 years or something like that. 44 years would not won the Premier League, and the coach of the year was given to the guy at Crystal Palace. What was he called? That absolute donkey of a coach. Can't
Alan
remember.
Pardew.
No, even worse than him. We used to be manager at Gillingham when City at the playoff. Beat them in the
Not
playoff.
Ollie, the one QPR.
I'll Google him in a minute, but you would be amazed that he won manager of the season. So the
Ian Hollywood, Ian someone. Ian,
Holloway.
no,
That's
Ian
that's
Holloway.
not-
Ian Holloway.
No.
manager of the season. He's not always the manager who wins the Premier League, but I think this season he has been the best coach because he's faced a very, very good Arsenal side, and he's kept changing it. He's bedded Haaland into a team, which is not as easy as he's made it look, to be honest with you. And I think ultimately we've ended up winning the Premier League comfortably, and he deserves it.
Farrell, who are you going for his manager?
I think it's got to be Brighton's Roberto De Zerbi, personally. I think, have you got to say?
You two definitely went out for a beer before, didn't you?
No one comes close to it.
What do you mean no one
Oh,
comes
no,
close?
it's
Just
gotta-
had a heated debate about how Pep, and you say no one comes
meant
close.
to win the league. Pep's meant to win the league. He's got the best
No,
team in
I-
the world.
I
He hasn't
think-
got a
no,
club
look.
at his station.
Look, listen,
And
listen.
how?
How many people here thought? I mean, I know you thought they would make Champions League,
I
but
said they finished by Man United. I really did. I said they
yeah,
finished
but,
by Man
but
United. I said they've
the
got a great
majority
squad.
of people would have thought they'd finished around about 6, 7. You know, and
That's
They
up to the
would have
winner,
if Chelsea and Liverpool were killing it as normal, but they weren't.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't.
that's
Listen,
right.
though,
Eddie Howe's right up there.
Go on,
Eddie Howe's right
Farrell.
up there.
Go on, Farrell.
Everyone was saying, like, even I think Graham Souness saying that, these foreign coaches coming in, and like, I love Graham Souness, but he's wrong about him. He was completely wrong about Roberto De Zerbi. He came in after Graham Potter has done a phenomenal job at Brighton. Coached well. The recruitment team at Brighton is obviously fantastic. They've got a good team. But no one was backing Roberto De Zerbi to get Brighton into European football. Yeah, fine. It's not Champions League football. Whatever. He got them in. He got fucking Brighton, recently a Championship club into European.
They
football.
couldn't score goals as well.
This is. I mean, they've got their goals, haven't they? From the last season,
Yeah.
they had 42 goals they scored, 44 they conceded. Slightly more leaky at the back this time around. 53 goals conceded, but 72 goals scored.
Massive amount. Yeah.
Roberto De Zerbi is a damn good coach, and
Yeah.
should
They've
be
got
coaching.
some damn good players though as well, Farrell as well. People don't.
But you've got to coach them, like, for crying out loud.
yeah.
You've got players like they've bought. No, come on, like, let's. be
Yeah, but
serious.
they're
They've bought
no
loads-
names.
Yeah,
They are
they bought.
no-name
I
players.
agree.
No, I'm
They're
just-
players
I'm
well
just-
under the radar.
Like,
bigging up. I'm just bigging Brighton up here. Like over
They
the
I
lost
know,
a
but
lot of
like,
their key
they've got
players
some
in the
lots
last
of
year.
players, haven't they?
Like, look at
Got
like
some good
Karen
players.
Hire more,
Toma,
please.
like, do you know what I mean? The players they've bought from, like, like bumfuck nowhere, like, and they've transformed them into like incredible Premier League. Like, do you know, it's
Yeah, but
just-
they've
I just
turned
think
into
it's
bloody good
brilliant.
players, haven't they? They've
Yeah,
turned into
yeah,
bloody
but
good
he's
players.
had to coach them. If we're going to talk about Guardiola and his brilliance in coaching, solving the Haaland conundrum, we have to praise Roberto De Zerbi for coaching these same. Arguably,
100%.
players you look at and think, well, they might be decent in 5 years' time. He's coached like fucking me. Look at Pervis Estupiñán. Like, it's coaching
Yeah,
him to the
I
best
think-
left back in the league. I think he's.
I mean,
honestly,
McAllister's ruined his career.
McAllister. Like,
He's ruined his career now, McAllister. We don't try to leave
we
it.
are
I
now. He's on to bigger and better things, my friend.
I think Newcastle have players that Brighton are probably like a couple of years in front of Brighton players. So Brighton are buying the players that no one knows about, whereas Newcastle are getting in the players that just before they go to the big clubs. You have to hand it to Garth. Final shout.
I honestly, I'm sorry, lads. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't understand how no one else is picking apart from me. Farrell. He has literally done the best job with a team in this league, bar none. I'd probably have Gary O'Neill second. No offense to Pep, he's done magnificently. And if we're talking about all of it with the treble, you'd probably have to pick him on default. But we're just talking about the Premier League. Man City are expected to win the league, and they are expected to win the league at a canter as well. So
Listen,
for me,
I can't disagree with that, to be honest with you. I did mention
Deserved-
Gary O'Neill first. And
yeah. Deserving for me. I mean, the squad he's got, how he's done it. Got Brighton, man. We're talking about Brighton. This ain't even Newcastle. Newcastle's got 50,000, 5,000 seat stadium. They've got money. We're talking about Brighton and Hove Albion with players that, we can all say now, Caicedo is magnificent. He's magnificent. None of us gave them any sort of hope getting in Europe at the beginning of this season. It's an amazing job. An amazing job. And
it's
for me, no
lucky
one comes close.
after that speech, I get to have the final decision. So I am going to go for De Zerbi because I think he deserves it. He's been absolutely outstanding.
He's deserving, yeah, for sure.
Close second. It don't even matter. Zerbi.
Mikel Arteta.
Oh,
Mikel
no,
Arteta.
that was a low blow. No one even mentioned Mikel Arteta, and I remember that. No one mentioned Mikel Arteta there.
No.
Season.
In fairness,
Not even
Arsenal fell away at the end, and so he lost. You won no cups. You finished second, only a few points, 3 wins over Man United in third, who had an average season. I don't think Arteta gets into.
Oh yeah, but if you're going to start talking about only how much in front of Man United, then we can start talking about only 5 points behind Man City. It's a nonsense. It makes no difference.
No, I'm joking.
Arsenal
It
fell
does
off
make
at the
a
end of the
difference.
season and didn't even bother.
Exactly.
We ain't going to go and
He couldn't keep that team up and acting and doing their best performance. I don't think Arteta gets into the conversation. I'm sorry, I really don't. Not
We only scored 30 goals more than Man United this season, Kieran.
You only finished
But
3
we're close.
points above
We're
us.
close.
And
It's only 9 points.
One
Only 9
place.
points.
Yeah.
Only 9 points. 30 goals.
What did you get this season? What did you get this season? What did you get this
30
season, mate? Did you
goals.
get Champions League football? Did you win a league or a cup? Did you win anything? No, you
No,
didn't. You come second, you came third, and won a cup. So don't even start with me, mate. Because
it was 9 points. It was 9 points. It was 9 points, yeah. Wait, hold on. Slow down. Okay, you can see who's talking over. You say it was 9 points, yeah, but when Gary Neville said that Man City would finish 10 points ahead of Arsenal, it was a laughing point. It was like, oh my God, Arsenal are going to fall off way behind Man City, 10 points. Now, all of a sudden, it's only 9 points. Get in the bin. Arsenal had a good season. But not even saying. Wait, slow down. My point about Mikel Arteta was definitely only a joke. I picked De Zerbi, and I said second don't even matter. It's not even important. It's in who's the second choce. It doesn't matter because I picked
30 goals is a lot, though, isn't it?
Right? I probably would have picked Pep as my second choice. I do think that he deserves a shout out. Even though Man City are expected to win it. Because they did it.
Enjoy your 9 points clear cut, mate. Congratulations, bro. Well done. Great season, mate.
All right. On that note.
Got any silverware this year, Steve? Or what?
No.
Yeah, plenty.
Thanks.
They might. Would you be in the Charity Shield at the start of the season? Because you come seconds, so you might get a bit of silverware. You know what I mean?
Be slagging off their players all season. Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Guaya's crap. Rashford has dropped off. Anthony's useless. Bruno's this. Casemiro's been turning into liability.
Yeah, exactly. And we only finished one place behind
Sell McTominay. Sell this.
These details of one place it's a beaut. All right, we only finished one place behind Man City. We can't talk about that. You have to talk about points. Either way, anyway. On that note, what a show this has been. Thank you to everyone who's contributed. Thank you to everyone who's been in the comment section. If you've watched this, you've been entertained. I can tell you that for nothing. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Steve, Nathan, Kevin, Farrell, and Garth. Now no one wants to talk. What a show it's been. It says it all.
It's very easy to trigger Man United fans. It's very easy to trigger Man United.
No one even wants to look at each other.
Easy.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out.
Peace out, people. Stay safe.
Come on, man.